In 1964, the Mustang was the car everyone wanted. So how do you make it even better? You turn it into a Shelby. This is the Ford Mustang, the world's most popular car. Does that statement sound a little outrageous? Well, consider this. The Mustang is the only car in history that ever sold 500,000 cars in its first 6 months, and over 1 million cars in its first 2 years. When the Mustang hit the market, it was more than just a car, it was an event. In fact, it was the event that changed the automobile industry.
The Mustang was really an original thought. It was not an answer to the imports, it was its own unique idea. It was aimed, I guess, primarily at the young baby boomers that were coming up into car buying age.
Mustang. The Mustang was a perfect blend of Ford's marketing skill and engineering excellence. The first generation Mustangs were sporty-looking runabouts, which didn't set any performance records. But in the years that followed, Ford managed to develop the car and sell it to millions of people as a sports car, a muscle car, and a luxury car. Because the Mustang was such an immediate hit, it was the perfect platform for America's most memorable and sought-after specialty cars, the Shelby GT350 and the GT500. The Mustang was one of 2 key elements in Ford's plan to replace the Corvette as America's sports car. The other key element was their partnership with an American racing legend, Carroll Shelby. The Mustangs that carried the Shelby name were truly amazing cars. The Shelby Mustangs were symbols of Detroit's ability during the muscle years to build cars that were a cut above the ordinary. Today, everywhere Shelby Mustangs go, they stop traffic and turn heads. People who restore these cars know they've brought something very special back to life. This Mustang magic is what led Charles and Liz Lambert to become a 2 Mustang family.
The blue car catches people's attention a little bit, and you can see them looking. But when I come behind Liz in the Shelby, you can just see the jaw fall down. That's, you know, the awesome part, to catch them when this comes behind the blue one.
The Shelby Mustang is a fascinating chapter in what is already the best success story in muscle car history. Stay with us as Ford goes sports car racing on the American muscle car. Wherever they've competed, Fords have always been at the head of the pack.
One fact cannot be challenged. Nobody outperforms Ford.
Ford has always competed in motor racing for one reason: to be #1 in sales against arch rival Chevrolet. Whatever Chevy did, Ford had to do it better. But there was one kind of racing where Ford didn't have a car that was competitive: sports car racing. The Chevrolet Corvette had established itself in the late 50s as America's sports car and as a world-class road racer. Ford had nothing to put on the line against it. The Ford Thunderbird, which began life in 1955 as a sports car, had outsold the Corvette 13-1. But it had grown from a 2-seat roadster into a personal luxury car and no longer bore any resemblance to a sports car. So in 1964, Ford reached the young generation with their introduction of the Mustang. This was the car that would give them the lead over Chevrolet and become the sports car they had been looking for.
When Mustang hit on April 17, 1964, it was an immediate success. It was debuted at the World's Fair in New York, and people were already lining up to get the cars.
The mid-year introduction of the Mustang was timed perfectly. If Ford had brought it out in September with all the other new models, it might have gotten lost in the clutter. But it debuted in April, all by itself, sharing the spotlight with none of the other 1964 models, and far in advance of the 1965 cars. It was offered only in a coupe or a convertible, and its price tag was attractive, just $23.68. With its long hood, short deck styling, and sports car interior, the youth market responded in numbers the automobile industry had never seen.
Today, as far as cars go, the production figures run between 300 and 350,000 usually of a #1 selling car. But in 1965 and 1966, they built 1,159,000 Mustangs. It was still today the most important car introduction ever made.
The Mustang was not built as a performance car, but rather it was aimed at the vast, untapped market of young people who wanted all the thrills of a sports car, combined with the luxury and reliability of a good old American car. In 1965, Ford started upgrading the car's performance. They now offered the car in a fastback called the 2+2, and it came with more engine options, including the high-performance 289 V8, which made the Mustang run as good as it looked.
Just a couple months into production, Ford offered its K-Code engine, which was a solid lifter 289, 4-barrel carburetor. And it wasn't a roll your eyeballs in the back of your head kind of torque monster, but it was a very strong performance engine, more like a American version of a sports car.
With the outstanding success of the Mustang, Ford was really out front and pulling away. But that old desire to go head-to-head with the Corvette still lingered inside Ford Motor Company. Stay with us as Ford goes sports car racing on the American muscle car.